Hey everyone, let's spend a little bit of time walking through your essay outline. And it's very important that you do a pretty thorough outline for this final assignment because you will not have a chance to redo this final essay, right? It's due the very last day of class. So what I have here is a kind of topic I've been playing around with. North Carolina hiking trails needing more funding to keep them maintained. And what I have here is a sample outline of the parts that you're going to need. Your introduction and your claim. What is it you're claiming about your NC problem? What do you think you're going to talk about in your background? For example, I feel like before my reader will understand the changes, the solutions that I'm trying to come up to, and some of the major problems, maybe they need to know a little bit about the history of the trail system itself. What is the trail system, who maintains it in general, that sort of thing. So this is just background information, just like we have been doing. Then I'm going to have a section where I explain the problems that I see. As I start writing and researching, I might realize that the 3 problems I have here may be too many. I might have to narrow to one, or I might find different ways of combining them. But tentatively, that's what I'm thinking of right now are going to be the problems I want to examine. So you need to really explain to us what the problems are going to be in your paper. Put them on your outlines so you can kind of see where you're headed. Here is the biggest part of, well, I didn't want to do that. Here is the biggest part of our outline, and this will be the biggest part of your paper. Remember that the focus, the task of this paper is to examine at least 2 solutions, and all of my outlines have 2 solutions, so that's probably what you'll wind up doing. Examine 2 solutions on the basis of similar elements, right, like we did with the evaluation, and then recommend a solution, one of the 2 that you've given. So this is where the heart of your essay will be, and this is probably the place where you may or may not find any research. All of your research may be going towards the background and the problems. You may or may not find a lot of research for your solution, particularly if your solution is fairly novel, if nobody else has thought about it already. One of the places, and this is probably not the best place to mention this, but since we're talking about it, you may find that you need to look at how similar problems were solved elsewhere, right? And say, if they did this in the Georgia Park system, can we do it here as well, right? So you might find some research, but you may not. Don't be worried if you don't, if the solutions are all your own. So what I have here is a very quick little setup, and I will show you a longer one in a moment. So my organization for the solution part of my paper will probably be in 2 sections, right? As many paragraphs as it takes me, but 2 separate sections. I will describe solution A, and in this particular one, my elements of comparison are benefits and drawbacks. So I will talk about the benefits of solution A and the drawbacks of solution A. When I move on to explaining solution B, I will also need to do the benefits and drawbacks because I need to compare both my solution on the basis of the same features, okay? And then I will have a recommendation paragraph where I will explain why I'm rejecting one solution and picking the others, right? So this is like a bare minimum outline. And that's what's part in the instructions for the project. Here's a student sample. She was writing on monarch butterflies, okay, the disappearance of the monarch butterflies. And she gives her background, what she's going to talk about, where monarch butterflies fit in the overall scheme of the environment. She's going to talk about her problems, and there's 3 parts of the problem she wants to look at: deforestation, decline of one of their foods, the milkweed plant, and their sensitivity to climate change. So that's what's going to be in her problem section. Her solution section, she has really done a lot of detail, which is useful for her because now she can really, I mean, her paragraphs are set up. She just needs to flesh it out with more details and whatever research she may have. But she has 2 solutions, all right? One is reducing deforestation, reducing the extent of business and farming actions and effects on the environment. And solution B is more about programs that can help people improve the environment. All right? So two very different solutions, but again, she's doing like I did, benefits and drawbacks. So she's talking about the benefits of solution A and the drawbacks of solution A, and then she does the same thing with B. So this is the big heart of your essay, and this is where you should be spending the most amount of time. Again, she gives a recommendation and a conclusion. I want to pull up here for you if I can. It may not let me here. Yes, I think it will. Okay, so hopefully this is still recording properly. If not, I'll edit it in. A second student wrote about gun education laws, how to train people properly in using guns in terms of education, right? So this was an education topic. So I just pulled out this one little section. So solution A is about education, solution B is about implementing laws. And he's going to look at how education reduces violence and reduces death, and how implementing laws would reduce violence, reduce death. Okay, so this is just a very short one. I didn't put in all the details for this person. The third example is also something about wildlife, looking at preserving the Blue Ridge Parkway in the face of budget cuts, etc. So two solutions. So to keep things, how do we keep things maintained without extra funding, right? So one is to set up cameras in areas that have been bothered by vandals. And what would the cost of that be? What would be the time constraints and personnel needed for that solution? Solution B, getting people to protest, speak out, write letters, that sort of thing, so these programs can be restored with funding. What would the cost of that solution be? What would be the time and personnel needed? So that you see what you're doing is, this is the evaluation portion, right? Just like you did your art and music paper, but now we're doing it with more than one element. So it becomes a comparison, really, right? You're comparing two solutions, but you have to compare them on the basis of the same evaluative criteria. All right, so that's what's a little different. We're going from evaluation, which is you were looking at just one item that you were evaluating. Now we're doing two, which makes it what we would technically call a comparison, right? So get these in as quickly as you can so I can get some feedback to you, and let me know if you need any help.